Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And last night, the Super Bowl took place. And for this video, I'm going to go quarter by quarter, breaking down what happened throughout each quarter instead of just doing it fully through. So you're going to see different pictures for just throughout the game in general. But the first quarter, yes, obviously in the Super Bowl, you had the Patriots and Seahawks both had 14 wins this season. Seahawks finished as the first seed in the NFC, passed for the second seed in the AFC due to a tiebreaker loss they had versus a coming game loss they had versus the Raiders, which is why the Broncos was able to get that first seed. They had swept the Raiders. But yeah, both teams got to the Super Bowl, both had great seasons. First quarter just started. Seahawks start off the game pretty good. Kenneth Walker had a 10-yard run to start the game. Barner had a nice catch. He had beat Jones to get a first down. And then it was a really good drive for Seattle, but the Patriots defense had held them to just a field goal, and the Seahawks made it. Jason Myers, he made the field goal to send them up 3-0. And then you had then I forgot what happened after that. The Patriots did get a first down, but they had the Patriots had a few plays to Stevenson. I was looking at the wrong thing on my notes. The Patriots had a few plays to Stevenson. They got him going early, gave him 2 runs, and he had a catch. But then Hall was able to get to May and sack him. So that led to the Patriots' first drive ended in a punt, which, that. And then on the following play, the pass nearly had interceptions. It was a really dumb pass by Darnold, but they weren't able to secure it. But that was the interception they really needed, especially after what took place later in the game. JSN had a 4-yard catch. He was tackled instantly. Great defense by the Patriots early on. The Seahawks ran a screen on second and long for whatever reason. So that was something. And then it was a pass. Darnold had like an 80-yard pass to JSN, but he wasn't able to connect. And so that definitely, it didn't matter in the end, but that definitely could have mattered if the game was a bit closer. But this early on, that's not a pass you can overthrow. Like, you need to complete that early on to JSN because he was super open. Like, nobody was catching him if he caught that pass. And he had Witherspoon sack made, which Witherspoon had 2 sacks, I think. Like, Witherspoon, even if it wasn't 2 sacks, he got a lot of pressure, especially for a defensive back. Witherspoon had a great game. So that led to another Patriots punt. Barner, he spanned off a tackle for a first down, but the Seahawks had the punt. And after the first quarter, the Seahawks were leading 3-0. A really good defensive first quarter. Not a lot happening. You had the field goal. Had some great defense by both teams. I won't consider it boring because both defenses made good plays. Darnold overthrew JSN. That was a significant moment. Witherspoon sacking May and pressuring him like 2 or 3 times. So that was important. Barner getting the first down, so he was showing you that later in the game, this is going to be effective and they can't stop this. Like, they've been able to get stops, but if AJ Barner, if he's able to get these first downs like convert, it's going to be hard for the Patriots to stop that if he's already getting these looks. So once Darnold gets comfortable, it's not going to look good for the Patriots. And now to get to the second quarter, you had Hunter Henry. He dropped the pass, and then he got lit up after that. Bad drop by Hunter Henry. I was rooting for the Patriots because of Hunter Henry, because me and Hunter Henry are from the same state. He is from Arkansas, just like I am. So I was, even though my team wasn't in the Super Bowl this year, I was rooting for Hunter Henry since we both came from the same state and grew up around the same area, like 30-minute difference. But yeah, that was a bad drop. Like, that definitely cost the Patriots later on. Couldn't afford that drop. Then he got lit up. Like, I don't think that was a hospital pass by May. I just think that's a bad drop because he was going to take that hit anyway. It's just a Super Bowl, so you got to expect hard hits. So the Patriots had to punt again after that. Then Christian Gonzalez had a really good deflection, which that was the case throughout the night. Christian Gonzalez did a great job on JSN. So I thought JSN would have played a bit better, but I wasn't surprised that Christian Gonzalez played as well as he did. But Kenneth Walker had another big run. He had back-to-back big runs that were super effective, but Just aside from that, the Seahawks were only able to settle for a field goal, and they extended. Jason Myers extended their lead to 6-0. So Kenneth Walker did put them in scoring position once again. Mills, he ran through the old lineman. I forget, it wasn't Will Campbell, it was somebody else. But Mills ran through one of the past old linemen to sack May. There was the second sack May had took, if I'm not mistaken. Then the Patriots had to punt again. They had another good run from Walker. Had Cooper Kupp with like a 8-yard catch. Then Walker, he was able to pick up another first down. Like Walker just had a great game throughout the night. But that ended up with the Seahawks punting. The Patriots defense was able to get a stop because Kenneth Walker had dropped the pass. Because Walker, as good as a back as he is, he's not one of the better catching backs. Like he had a couple of catches, but you don't use, that's what you use Charbonnet for more for those catching situations. So Walker, he did have a drop that was crucial in the game that led to them having to punt. And then you had Mac Hollins. He was only able to get his fingertip on a pass from May. I don't know if you want to put that on May or, yeah, you put that on May. I think he could have thrown a better ball there. And then you had a pass to Douglas that ended up in a first down. Will Campbell was called for a false start. Will Campbell just had an overall bad game. Like he allowed a lot of pressure on Drake May. He didn't do anything significant in this game. But like I said, he had the false start, probably his most significant play. And then that led to a 3rd and 12 for the Patriots, and he took a deep shot and May went out of bounds. Like he had a receiver, even if he didn't catch it, he at least would have had a chance to try to make something happen on that sideline. But he overthrew it that just slightly that it went out of bounds. So that's not something that you could have had. So that ended in a punt. Seahawks got it back. Walker, he picked up another first down. He could have continuously picked up first downs throughout the night. And then you had Kupp, he dropped the first down, which the pass got super lucky because Kupp is a Super Bowl MVP from just a few years ago. So him dropping a first down, and then it was a really good almost catch. Like it wasn't a catch, but if he actually made the catch, it would have been impressive. But it did touch like the tip of the grass, so it was ruled down. I mean, it was ruled not a completion, which made the most sense. And then Gonzalez had his second pass deflection of the game on JSN. JSN was non-existent in that first half. Like he had a few targets. He had about 8 targets, 7 or 8 targets, but he only had one catch by that point. So the Seahawks settled for another field goal, and they went up 9-0 going into halftime. And so Patriots still got a chance at this point. Really great game. Great defense by both sides. The Seahawks have only been able to get field goals because Jason Myers has been having a great game. So, and with this season, we've seen a lot of missed kicks, but that was not Jason Myers in the Super Bowl. When he knew he needed to step up. And I'm not saying Myers in general, because I don't think Myers missed a lot of kicks. But in general, in the NFL, we saw a lot of missed kicks. That's not something we saw in this game. But going into halftime, the Seahawks led 9-0. And now going into the third quarter, the Pats already in a hole. It's not super big, only 9-0. But they come out of halftime and go 3-0. That's how they start the third quarter. Then JSN, he gets just his second catch of the game. Like I said, Gonzalez had a great job being placed on JSN. Obviously, JSN was Offensive Player of the Year, but Gonzalez is one of the best CBs in the league and proved that in this game. Despite them not winning, he did a great job on JSN, who wasn't effective at all throughout the night. And then Darnold, it was another key. He ran for a first down, really impressive run, great strong run by Darnold. But then it was a play following that where he missed Cooper Kupp that would have got him a easy first down and probably would have got him some extra yardage. So in that play, the Seahawks was only able to settle for a field goal. And then they did take a 12-0 lead. So any points is better than nothing, especially in a tight game like this. So, but he still missed that pass, which is very crucial. Then Henderson, he finally got some snaps. Like, I don't think Henderson was used much in the first half. He might have been used a little bit, but that was mainly using Stevenson. Then they finally went to Henderson, which I think they should have split the snaps a bit more in that first half to see who they should use more in the second half. Then Henderson, he got the snaps, didn't really do much. Douglas, he had a drop on 3rd and 1, which I feel like could have caught. Then that resulted in another Patriots punt. Then following that, JSN, he went to the locker room. He went to the tent first, ended up going to the locker room due to an injury. He did end up coming back, but he was out for a little bit due to injury. He already wasn't effective to begin with, because Gonzalez just playing really great defense, had a few pass deflections. So JSN. Prayers up to him. Hopefully everything is all right. I would assume he got that checked after the Super Bowl, whether it be today or tomorrow. I'm probably celebrating right now, but he got plenty of time in the off season to get it checked. I wouldn't wait too long. Obviously, you want to get that done within this week, but they'll probably celebrate. Then he can get that done. If it is anything else he needs to worry about, I don't think it's too bad that he was able to come back. But that's the extra precaution you want to take just in case, because you want to try to do this next season. And then the Seahawks did go 3-and-out. They didn't did anything going. Following that, the Patriots, they ended up punting again, and then he fumbled at the end of the third quarter. So that was May having that fumble towards the end of the third quarter. That also hurt the Seahawks. They remained ahead 12-0 to end the third quarter. So they just had that field goal. So not a lot happened in this third quarter. Very uneventful. Some good defense. Some more punting. Yeah, punters. And the punters for both teams had a long night. To get started with the fourth quarter, you had Sam Darnold finding Barner in the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Took the fourth quarter for some more scoring to happen. I mean, there was a few field goals. Like I said, it was 12-0 going to the third, but finally found the end zone. Seattle took a 19-0 lead. Then early into the fourth quarter, Stephon Diggs got into a fight with somebody or an altercation. He did throw a punch, but since the refs didn't throw a flag, they couldn't kick him out the game, so he was able to stay in. So it is what it is. Drake May had a back-to-back great completions to Matt Collins, one of which ended up being a touchdown that made the game 7-19. So maybe it's a little bit of light, and that's what people seem to that. Maybe they can't complete a comeback because they haven't been able to get stops throughout the night. So they can keep getting the stops they were getting in the first half, even before that touchdown that they just gave up. They've been having a great game, so they can get another stop, and they can have a chance to get back in it. JSN, he returned to the lineup. He was still taken out of the game, essentially by Gonzalez and the great defense that he was playing. And then you had Darnold overthrow Shaheed. That would have been a great game. Probably would have been a touchdown, but guaranteed they would have put them in scoring range if he didn't overthrow Shaheed. And then the Seahawks had to punt the ball. May had to use his legs to get a first down, which we know he can run. And then May threw a really dumb interception that could have been avoided. There was an easily avoidable interception, and Jason Myers made his fifth field goal of the game, giving Seattle a 22-7 lead. I don't know why I put at half in my notes. I think there was like a 2-minute warning, or close to that. But he gave them a 22-7 lead, and then he got sacked for the sixth time, which was a strip sack, I think, or was the seventh sack, the strip sack. And then he got sacked 7 times, but then it was a strip sack that happened, and that ended up being returned for a touchdown. Seattle took a 29-7 lead. So that was also, I think that was more on the O-line because they didn't play good throughout the night either. But that was his second or third turnover he committed. Still wasn't good. I think that was his third because he still, like I said, had a fumble. Yeah, it was his third because he had a fumble earlier and he had an interception. So he had a few bonehead plays into the game as the MVP runner-up. Then Diggs had a catch, so that was something. He threw a 2-point conversion to Hunter Henry in triple coverage. Another dumb play by Drake May. I don't know what he was thinking there. I don't know what he was seeing. But you just got the touchdown, so why are you throwing into triple coverage for the 2-point conversion? It makes sense to me. So they didn't recover the onside kick. The Seahawks ended up winning Super Bowl 60, 29-13. So, yeah, the Patriots, they got eviscerated in this game. Didn't do nothing. They put up a donut through 3 quarters. Finally scored in the fourth when it wasn't even too late. It was just they still could have won this game, but Drake May made some bonehead plays, and he didn't prove like he should have been MVP. A lot of people was claiming he should have been MVP over Stafford, which he shouldn't have, but he didn't go out there and prove that. So Drake May making all his fans look bad. All the stuff they said, like Stafford against this same Seahawks defense didn't commit a single turnover and had like over 900 yards. It wasn't in a 3-game sample size, yes, but in all 3 games he delivered. So this was a pretty bad performance by Drake May and the Patriots as a team. Not everybody, but for the most part, this was a bad performance. This was a bad performance by the Patriots offense. The defense did everything they could, but the Patriots offense just wasn't putting points on the board at the end of the day. So the defense eventually got tired by the end of this game. Fourth quarter, the defense was extremely tired because they were doing everything they could to keep this team in the game. And now we can talk about the stats and who won Super Bowl MVP. So the most notable players for the Patriots, Matt Collins, he got going later in the game, but he finished with 4 catches, 78 yards, 19.5 average per catch, and a touchdown. He was the best Patriots player on offense. Craig Woodson, he finished the game with 7 tackles, 7 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 pass deflections. So Craig Woodson, he had a great game. Played his ass off in the Super Bowl, did what he could. Like I said, the Patriots defense overall had a really great night until it got to the fourth quarter because they were simply just tired because the offense wasn't putting any points on the board. They wasn't staying on the field long enough for them to get some rest. So they were back out there immediately. And then their punter, Bryce, I forget his last name, he had 8 punts for 356 yards, 44.5 average, and 4 punts inside the 20. Patriots offense put them in position. They put their punter in position to have a really great game. So that was just a great punting affair by Bryce for the Patriots. Drake made him play well. He had 3 turnovers, like I said. Stephon Diggs didn't do much. Hunter Henry was pretty disappointing. Like I expected more out of him, obviously, since we're from the same state. So disappointing in his performance. The run game was non-existent. The Stevenson, Henderson, they didn't do anything. May outran both of them. I think even combined, he slightly had a few less yards than them, but he still outran both of them, like performance-wise, like he still played better than both of them. So that's pretty embarrassing for the running backs. Like I said, the defense did all they could. They just got tired at the end. Kenneth Walker won Super Bowl MVP with 27 carries, 135 yards, 5 yards per carry, 2 catches, and 26 yards. And the guy that finished runner-up for Super Bowl MVP was Jason Myers, the kicker, who went 5 of 5 on field goals, 2 of 2 on extra points, and scored 17 of the Seahawks, 29 points. Without those, obviously you can't just take away all the points, but without those, they scored 12 points. So yeah, Jason Myers had a really great game, and he almost won MVP. It would have been we have seen a kicker win MVP in the regular season. Mark Mosley in 1982 with the Washington Redskins. It was a shortened season, but we've never seen a kicker win a Super Bowl MVP. We were very close to that, but history was still made with Kenneth Walker winning it, as he was the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP since 1997. So either way, either choice would have been good with me. Seeing a kicker winning it would have been super cool, but I had to give credit. As good as the game that they both played individually, it's 3 sides of the football. Kenneth Walker, he was your best offensive player for the Seahawks. He had a phenomenal game. Jason Myers, he was the best player on special teams. One of the best kicking performances, probably the best kicking performance we've seen all season. Now on defense, the defense played well throughout the night. They limited the Patriots to a donut throughout 3 quarters. But I got defensive player of the game has to be Devon Witherspoon, in my opinion. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits. He was constant as a knee beat. He should not be getting that much pressure on Drake May, and he was able to do that. And you can't, like that skill, you can't just attribute that to O-line didn't play well. Like, yes, the O-line was weak for the Patriots, but at the end of the day, you don't see defensive backs getting this much pressure, especially on a quarterback. So Devon Witherspoon, in my opinion, he's the defensive player of the game. So that's what, like I say all the time, it's not just about the quarterback. If Sam Darnold had a good game, I'm not going to take that away from him. He had 202 yards. Did he have 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown? I got to check that. I think he had 2 touchdowns, but he could have. I know he had 202 yards. He was 19 of 38. I'm trying to. No, he only had 1 touchdown. Okay. Yeah, 19 of 38, 202 yards, a touchdown. Only took 1 sack. Wasn't a great game, but he still played well enough to get the win. And this is what I say all the time. It's 3 sides of the football. He's not winning with just 1. They all had a special player in each area. The Seahawks did that had a great game, and even Devon Witherspoon. If they would have went with him for Super Bowl MVP, I wouldn't have been mad because of the impact that he made. Like the stats might not be the most eye-popping, but watching the game, he just made an insane impact Like they couldn't do anything to contain Devon Witherspoon that the Patriots couldn't. So you had Kenneth Walker had a great game on offense, had Devon Witherspoon have a really great performance on defense. Then you had Jason Myers carry your special teams and make every kick. He went seven, had 100 kick percentage. It's been a bad kick the last 3-4 seasons. Yeah, last 3 seasons in the NFL, it's been rough for kickers. This is one of the best kicking performances we've seen in the NFL in general, not just the last 3 seasons, but in history, especially in the Super Bowl. This is super impressive what Jason Myers did. But Kenneth Walker won Super Bowl MVP. Not mad at that decision. Well deserved. But with that being said, make sure y'all leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what y'all thought of Super Bowl 60. I thought the first 3 quarters was entertaining, and then the fourth quarter, that's when it got boring, but it was some more scoring. There was some more electric plays. Kenneth Walker touchdown got called back too. If I'm the refs, they would have just let it rock because the game was over at that point. But this Super Bowl this is the most boring Super Bowl since the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs. That was when Brady and Mahomes, when they went head to head in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. But yeah, this is the most boring Super Bowl since that. But I think this is better than this one because this throughout the game, it was more fun moments throughout this game. The Buccaneers and Chiefs, the Chiefs got dominated the whole time, and the Chiefs had some really bad drops. Like the Patriots, they showed flashes, like they had potential to come back, and it was really great defense throughout the 3 quarters. You know, it's just the fourth where it got really bad. But that's like 75% of this game was entertaining. While the Buccaneers and Chiefs a few years ago, I'd say like 60, maybe like 60%, maybe that's too high. Probably like 55% of the game was entertaining because Tom Brady was doing his thing. That was his last Super Bowl win. But yeah, like I said, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment what y'all thought, and share for others to see.